See, compliments are not just words, they are windows into how you perceive someone. And when you know how to give the right kind, you create emotional resonance. That quiet, magnetic pull that makes a woman feel deeply seen. Because here's the truth, most men compliment women the same way everyone else does. You're beautiful. You're so hot. You look amazing today. She's heard that 1,000 times. It doesn't even register anymore. But when you compliment a woman in a way that touches her psychology, when your words tap into something she feels but can't describe, that's when it lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. So let's go deeper into the human mind, her mind, and uncover the kinds of compliments that awaken emotional attraction, trust, and admiration. Let's begin. When a woman feels truly seen, it's not because you noticed her appearance. It's because you noticed her essence. You noticed her energy, the effort she puts into her world, the way she moves through life. A woman may not always say it, but she's starving to be recognized for the things that go beyond what's visible. The small battles she fights quietly, the kindness she gives freely, the strength she carries beneath her calm. So when you say something like, I love the way you see the world, you notice things most people ignore, or there's a calmness in you that makes people around you feel safe, it hits differently. Because now you're not talking to her ego, you're speaking to her soul. That's the psychology behind emotional validation, one of the strongest forms of connection between two people. Every woman wants to feel that she's more than her looks. She wants to feel that someone understands her complexity, her softness, her contradictions, that someone appreciates what makes her different. When a man says, you have this quiet strength about you, it's rare. It's not about flattery, it's about emotional recognition. And recognition builds attachment. Think about it. In a world where people scroll past each other in seconds, the one person who pauses long enough to really see you becomes unforgettable. That's what happens when you give a compliment that resonates with the woman's identity rather than her image. Now, here's the deeper part of the psychology. The compliments women crave the most usually align with what they doubt about themselves. If a woman is ambitious but feels she's not enough, your words that acknowledge her discipline or resilience will echo in her head for days. If she's shy and worries she's invisible, your recognition of her quiet charm will feel like warmth in her chest. If she's emotionally generous but often taken for granted, your appreciation of her empathy will mean more than any "you're beautiful" ever could. Because we all crave reassurance in the spaces where we feel unseen. So, when you want to compliment a woman, stop focusing on the obvious. Start observing the details that others miss. Watch the way she speaks when she's passionate about something. Notice how she tries to make everyone comfortable in the room. See the way her eyes light up when she talks about what she loves. And then, when the moment feels right, reflect that back to her. Calmly, sincerely, without trying to impress. Say, I love how you talk about things you care about. You bring them to life. Say, you have this way of making people feel understood. Say, you have a presence that's hard to ignore even when you're quiet. Those words don't just flatter, they affirm. An affirmation builds trust, attraction, and emotional depth. But here's the part that most men get wrong. You can't fake this. Women are intuitive. They can feel the difference between a compliment that's genuine and one that's manipulative. The energy behind your words matters as much as the words themselves. That's why the best compliments come from awareness, not intention. They come from actually paying attention, from being curious, not calculating. Because when you're present, you start to notice the small things. How she's trying to stay positive even when she's tired. How she softens her tone when she's trying not to argue. how her laughter has that slight delay when something truly amuses her. You don't mention all those things. You feel them, and then you express that feeling in a way that shows her that she's been seen at a level most people never reach. That's what creates the spark. Now, let's explore the subtle categories of compliments that reach deep into a woman's psychology. The first type is emotional recognition. These are compliments that reflect back her inner state. They might sound like, "You seem like the kind of person who genuinely cares." It's rare to see that these days. Or, "There's something peaceful in your energy. It feels good to be around." The second is intellectual appreciation. Women love when someone sees the depth of their mind. "I like how you think. You don't just follow the crowd." Or, "You explain things in a way that actually makes sense. It's refreshing." The third is effort acknowledgement. So many women feel unseen for the effort they put into their lives, their work, their families, their growth. "You've clearly worked hard to be where you are. That's inspiring." Or, "I can tell you put thought into what you do. It shows." The fourth is character validation. These are compliments that affirm who she is, not what she looks like. "You have such a grounded energy. You're the kind of person people can depend on." And the last one, the most powerful of them all, is presence-based compliment. This is when your compliment is born out of a moment. When you look at her, feel the connection and say, "There's something about this moment. I don't know what it is, but you make it feel right." That's authenticity. That's presence. Because it's not rehearsed, it's real. You're not giving her a compliment, you're giving her a feeling. And that feeling becomes a memory. Not because you said the perfect thing, but because your words carried awareness. Now, here's another truth about compliments. The less they sound like compliments, the more powerful they are. If you can blend your appreciation into natural conversation, it becomes organic. Now, one more thing, timing. Psychological studies show that the timing of a compliment affects its impact more than the content. If you give it too early, it feels like flattery. If you give it too late, it loses relevance. But when it comes naturally, mid-conversation, after observing something genuine, it becomes powerful. That's when she starts associating your presence with emotional safety. That's when she starts thinking about you later, replaying the moment in her head. It's never about what you say. It's about what you make her feel. Because the compliments women secretly crave are not loud. They're subtle. They come from silence, observation, and truth. Now, here's something deeper. Some of the most powerful compliments don't even sound like compliments. They sound like understanding. Like when you say, "I get why that matters to you," or "You remind me of someone who's been through a lot, but never lost their warmth." That's empathy. And empathy is the highest form of emotional intelligence in attraction. It tells her, "I see you." Not the version you show everyone, but the one you hide. That's the kind of recognition that creates a psychological bond, one built on mutual awareness. The truth is, what women crave isn't validation, it's connection.